Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my first episode of my first ever podcast, Rachel Out Loud. I'm Rachel, of course. Thank you so much for joining me. This podcast has been a long time coming. I have procrastinated and procrastinated. I have wanted to do this for months and I just haven't. And it's like, why would a podcast take this long to record? It makes no sense. But here I am. I think part of the thing I had going on up here was fear, where I was just like, who asked you anything? Who asked you a question? No one. Like, who wants to hear what you have to say? No one. Why would you have a podcast? I don't know. Why would I have a podcast? Kind of a weird thing for me to think of to do. Maybe not, because in 2025, everyone has a podcast, right? But it just didn't seem like I was the kind of person that would have a podcast because what do I have to talk about? That's what I kept telling myself. But here I am showing up for myself. Um, yeah, hopefully it resonates with some people. Hopefully it's interesting to some people. And that's that's the best case scenario. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Um, yeah, so I'm Rachel. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a mother to a 17-year-old girl who's a senior in high school, applying to colleges right now. It's crazy. Um, cat mom, plant mom. I grew up in the church. My dad's a pastor. My family's pretty religious, come from a very religious background. Yeah, I actually have two uncles in my family that are also pastors. So, like, I grew up in the church. I was in church all the time. I mean, Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Tuesday night prayer, Wednesday night service, Friday night youth group. There was always something on Saturday. I just feel like I was always in church. And growing up in the church, for those of you that grew up in the church and know, like the evangelical world, they don't I was always a kid that asked tons and tons of questions. I was skeptical about everything. And that kind of world, they don't smile upon that. That is definitely frowned upon because it's looked at as doubt and unbelief. And you're sowing doubt and unbelief in the minds of others when you ask your questions out loud. And I think that, like, a lot of people frowned upon it. I think my dad was one of the few people I would talk to about my questions. He would engage, and my dad's like, I think he's super smart, very like into just like analyzing things. He's super analytical. He's enjoys philosophy and different theories and stuff like that, and psychology. And so he would engage somewhat, but I'd always reach a dead end with these conversations where it would always end, like, even after I felt like I just made a great point that you are not going to have an answer for, you're not going to have a response for, or my great point just like totally killed what you just said and what your whole argument was. It would always reach a point where it was like, well, Rachel, that's where faith comes in. So, you got to pray about it. And then it just felt so crazy to me. I'm like, okay, it just proved everything you just said wrong. And we both know it, but okay. So I remember like telling my parents growing up, like, yeah, I'm a Christian. Cause when I would have these views that were opposing to their beliefs, they would be like, whoa, aren't you a Christian, Rachel? And I'd say, yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm just not the same kind of Christian as you. I didn't even know what that meant back then. I don't even know if I know what it means now. I just know it was my way of trying to articulate and express that, like, yeah, I just don't really see the world the way you do. I don't have the same viewpoints. I think a lot of what you believe is just, it doesn't feel right to me. I dealt with depression a lot growing up. Since childhood, I've dealt with depression on and off. ADHD was undiagnosed, like it is for many millennials, especially women. Um, yeah, I just dealt with a lot that I just didn't even know I was dealing with. Like you didn't even know you were going through it and that it wasn't normal. But you find out later on and it's like, oh wow, like life could have been so different, right? Um, I was a single mother for 10 years and I mean, I just didn't really focus on making connections with people. I would make these organic connections. I'd have these organic connections with people, whether it was people at my job or people at my church or just women I would meet. Like I would have these people that where these friendships could have blossomed. Beautiful friendships probably could have blossomed, but I would always withdraw and pull away. And it was also really hard because I was a single mom. Like, how am I going to hang out with you? I'd have to get a babysitter. It's just so it never would work out. And now in my 40s, I'm like, dang, I don't have any friends. And now I have to start trying to make friends. And it's really rough. It's really rough. But that's like the new struggle for me. It's like I'm on an app to try to make friends. So yeah, life is lifing. But you know what? I think that I've always been in survival mode. Didn't realize it at the time, but I know it now. And so now I'm finally trying to like flip the script and just thrive. I'm trying my hardest to thrive and to take care of myself. My journey with mental health, with taking care of my mental health started a few years ago, probably right after COVID. And, on and off, I've been in therapy. Right now, I'm in therapy again twice a week. I'm seeing a analyst. Yeah, I said that right. Yeah, I'm in psychodynamic therapy. And yeah, I'm really trying to choose connecting over like disappearing because I was always the type to withdraw and kind of just pull away from people whenever I was going through anything. Um, I think I've learned a lot. Allowing yourself to say, I'm not okay is absolutely okay. Like, it's okay, and I feel like, I've always had such a great support system and people that were in my life that I didn't reach out to, cousins, aunts, uncles, sisters. I kinda just, like, pull away, and it's like, "Why? You have all these people in your life that you love, that say that they love you and that you say you love them, so why are you pulling away?" So I've really just been trying to let people show up for me and me trying to show up for them, and it's been great. It's been really great. I think that too, something I found out just from talking to people like cousins and sisters, when you do say something, you'll find out a lot of times those people are going through the same thing, or they just went through the same thing. So you can connect, like just based off of people going through the same experiences. Um, so yeah, it's hard to be the strong one all the time. Like I've had this thing of always pushing everything deep down inside, all my feelings and emotions and my vulnerabilities, just pushing them down. And that gets really, really hard to keep doing. And it gets really old. It's just like, it's just not cool to have to be strong all the time. Like, it's like Black women are so strong. What if I don't want to be strong anymore? Like, why do I have to be strong? Why do I have to be so strong? Like, I don't want to be strong anymore. So that's kind of where I'm at. Um, I don't know. I have a lot of people in my family that deal with mental health issues from cousins and sisters. And I mean, it's all around me. And so I think part of my goals now is just to allow myself to feel more joy. I feel like when I'm with my family, when I'm with, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my sisters, my mother, I feel so much joy just from being around them, laughing with them, joking with them, having a good time being around them. I realize that that's one of the things that's most important to me in my life, and so it's funny, sometime maybe a year or 2 before 2020, I was like, "I want a farm." I don't man, let me stop calling it a farm. I want a homestead. I want a place where all my family can come. I don't even wanna call it a compound because that's very cult-like. It sounds very culty. But I mean, it's 2025. If you're on social media, you see tons of people buying lands, getting some cows, getting some chickens, starting to grow most of their own food or some of their own food at least. And my idea didn't come from social media. It honestly just came to me like, this is crazy. Like, you love gardening, you like nature, you like being in nature. Why are you stuck in the city? Like, why don't you get some land and then your family could live on the land? You don't have to live like right next door to me, but you could live 2 miles down the road, a mile down the road, whatever. And so that idea popped into my head before COVID, but then when COVID hit, I was like, "Whoa, I know that I'm supposed to do this." Like, we're not supposed to rely on the government to eat. When the shelves were bare, I was like, "Wow, you need to get on this." And so I didn't, but hopefully now I can kinda get it together in the next, like, 12 to 18 months and kind of see really put this plan in place and really start to execute and create a space for my family, a safe space. Um, so yeah, this podcast is really just about finding your own path, finding your own way, telling your story. I'm not a guru of any kind. I'm not an expert. I am not a teacher, a preacher. I ain't none of that. So if you're coming here, looking for somebody to give you expert advice, you definitely are in the wrong place. I'm sorry. That's not me. But I am here to ask questions and ask questions that people are scared to ask. I'm here to figure things out in real time. So it's not going to be pretty always. I think this is just like a space. While I'm trying to create a space for anyone who feels lost, who feels tired, who's tired of playing the games, um, people that just want their voices to be heard. And you can always hit me up on Instagram, on YouTube. You can email me, the Rachel Out Loud podcast at Gmail. I'll be here. We suggestions, topic suggestion, anything. You can just be respectful. I am here to talk to you and engage. Let's see what we can kind of figure out together. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I have. I thank you so much for joining me for my first episode. It's a short one because I just wanted to introduce myself, but hopefully we can really dive into some great topics. I mean, we can talk about anything from sports and politics and health and wellness and fitness and mental health and whether that be depression or ADHD or bipolar. Like, I mean, we can talk about any and everything here. Romantic relationships, like anything. So hopefully this is a safe space for you as well, and you'll allow it to be a safe space for you. And you join me on this journey. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna try to post weekly. Most likely I'll post weekly. Um, Thank you for being here. Until next time.